Hi there, this is Andreas with ExpressPad's Finger Drumming, and in this video I'd like to speak about in-scale chords on the Magic Tone Network. Now, when you want to find the in-scale chords, you first need to start with your scale. And in this case we will start with the C major scale again, which goes. And the logic in finding these in-scale chords is derived from finding the third and the fifth based on the root note of that chord. And when we start with the C major chord, we know that it looks like that. And we also know that the intervals in this chord are one perfect fifth and one major third. And when we play them all together, we get the major chord, right? And we can now do the same on each and every step of that scale. And in this case, we just take the scale step as the root note and then count up 3 and then 5. And then we have our chord on that particular step, and we have the in-scale chord. So for C, we have just done that. And when we are on the D, which is the second note of the C major scale, then we just need to take this second step, add 2, which brings us to the fourth step, and we need to add another 2, which brings us to the sixth step, which is this one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and we have these 3 notes. And since we see that this note here is lighting up as well, we know that we can play our regular minor chord fingering on that second step. And when you go through this step by step, and always add 2 steps on your root note that you have on that step. So in this case, the E, for example, you go 2 up, 1, 2, and another 2 up, 1, 2. You come to an E minor. And again, if you go through this step by step, and you should do this for yourself just once or twice, so that you really get a better understanding of what you're doing there. But eventually you will come up with a C major, a D minor, which you can play either here or in this position. I usually play it in this position. Then the next one would be the E minor, F major, G major, A minor. And then the last one is interesting, because in this case, when you go to the B here, then you would assume, since we have major chords and minor chords, that this would be a minor chord as well. And that would sound like that. But you can tell that this, from its sound, doesn't really fit to the other chords. And the reason for this is that on the B minor, there's one note which doesn't appear in the C major scale, this one. And instead of that B minor chord, you play a diminished chord, because you can just go ahead counting upwards in 2 steps, right? So from this note, which is the 7, when you go up 2, then you have 7, 1, 2, so that would be 7 and 2, and then go 3 and 4, so that you have 7, 2, and 4. And when you look at your scale again, then you go to 7, 1, 2, 3, 4. So 7, 2, 4. And that brings us to the diminished chord, which you can play either in this position or in that position. So those are your in-scale chords for the C major scale.